What initially started as an intriguing psychological thriller from a compelling director has since grown into one of the most talked about movies of the year, but not for the reasons anyone involved with the project hoped. Shia Labeouf has revealed how Olivia Wilde treated him on the sets of Don't Worry Darling. Shia has further refuted Wilde's claims that she dismissed him quickly in the Variety cover story, by claiming that he instead decided to leave the movie for reasons which we'll be covering in today's video. So where does this drama between Wilde and Labeouf end? Well, while we're not sure about that one, how about we reveal to you what went down on the sets of Don't Worry Darling between Shia Labeouf and Olivia Wilde. Let's begin the video. Shia Labeouf turned the situation into a who dumped who scenario by sending Variety, among other things, a video of Wilde trying to talk him down from quitting the movie.
Shia, I'm not ready to give up on this yet.
Shia Labeouf does not deserve our grace or our credulity, given what he did to FKA Twigs and how he lied about his life to make Honey Boy. Nevertheless, whether Shia Labeouf technically left his role or was dismissed, it might have been because of his bad behavior, which others on the set also found to be undesirable. Shia, however, insists that everything is different and has explained what the arrangement was between him and the film's director, Olivia Wilde. In the video, Wilde appears to be pleading for Labeouf to make peace with Florence Pugh, the film's star, to move forward with filming the movie. She asks if they can make peace following whatever issues they were having on site. We all know how things ended up, but just because Wilde can be seen in the video trying to mediate doesn't imply she lied to Variety about Labeouf's actions being the cause of the issue. Labeouf seems fixated on the popular narrative that he was dismissed, even if he is correct, it doesn't show that he's not the issue. In the email Shia Labeouf has stated, which he sent to Wilde in response to her interview, that he's a little confused about the narrative that I was fired. However, you and I both know the reasons for my exit. I quit your film because your actors and I couldn't find time to rehearse. I've included, as a reminder, the screenshots of our text exchange on that day, and my text to Toby. Firing me never took place, Olivia, and while I fully understand the attractiveness of pushing stories, because of the current social landscape, the social currency that brings, it's not the truth. So I am humbly asking, as a person, to make things right, that you correct the narrative as best you can. I hope none of this negatively affects you, and that your firm is successful in all the ways you want it to be. But once more, this and the video don't mean that Labeouf's actions weren't problematic. It's difficult not to be wary of him as he attempts to make yet another comeback in the face of negative publicity, which is what Don't Worry Darling would have meant for him in the first place. 1 week following Labeouf's attempt to challenge Wilde, he is mentioned in a brand new prominent casting announcement. The bigger argument regarding everyone's capacity to work well together hasn't been successfully refuted, whether Wilde fired him or he quit. Wilde has also broken her silence on Shia Labeouf, expressing that his more immersive acting style was not exactly a good fit for the film. I say this as someone who is such an admirer of his work. His process was not conducive to the ethos that I demand in my productions, Wilde talked to Variety in the cover story. He has a process that, in some ways, seems to require combative energy, and I don't personally believe that is conducive to the best performances. I believe that creating a safe, trusting environment is the best way to get people to do their best work. Ultimately, my responsibility is to the production and to the cast to protect them. That was my job. In addition, Labeouf gave Variety a statement about the text messages he had with Wilde in August 2020, including one she replied to after he told her he was leaving the movie. Thanks for letting me in on your thought process. I know that isn't fun. Doesn't feel good to say no to someone, and I respect your honesty, the alleged text from Olivia Wilde read. I'm honored you were willing to go there with me, for me to tell a story with you. I'm gutted because it could have been something special. I want to make clear how much it means to me that you trust me. That's a gift I'll take with me. Despite how big of a tale all of that is on its own, the TikTok that started it all came before Wilde and Labeouf's back and forth. A TikTok from October 2021 appeared to make a suggestion regarding Don't Worry Darling. According to the user who posted it, she creates skits off of tales she hears on film sets, and anonymously shares them online. She omits names and productions, and so you're expected to use your knowledge to figure it out. The 2021 video's hint strongly suggested that Don't Worry Darling was being made. They also laid the stage for speculation that Pugh and Wilde were at odds, rather than Labeouf. Hence, Pugh's absence from much of the movie's advertising. This is all speculative, and once more we don't know what is and isn't true. People are also frequently eager to push women against one another and designate one of them as a villain, but this was what initially sowed the seeds that something happened on set. The video claims that Wilde was too enamored with Styles to put in the necessary effort for the film, which does sound sexist on its own. But it also claims that as a result, Florence Pugh took control and practically directed the movie herself. Numerous social media users also started to observe how Pugh promoted her work as a result of the TikTok that started it all. Florence Pugh is generally highly active on social media. However, users observed that she did very little to advertise Don't Worry Darling, even though she enjoys writing about her projects and communicating with individuals she's worked with. All of this has caused a rise in inquiries regarding feuds and other behind-the-scenes matters involving Wilde. She claims that there is no feud and that the intent is simply being the internet in the articles in both Variety and Vanity Fair. She made the same statement during the Venice Film Festival, where everyone was aware that not a single image from the Don't Worry Darling premiere at the festival featured her and Pugh together. Even though no one is required to provide any explanations for anything, it stands out that Florence Pugh isn't doing press for the film. In the one cover story she did up for Harper's Bazaar, the actress said only that she enjoyed playing distressed women, and that people tend to minimize her role to the sex scenes she has with Harry Styles. When it's reduced to your sex scenes or to watch the most famous man in the world go down on someone, it's not why we do it. It's not why I'm in this industry, Pugh stated. Obviously, when you're in the nature of hiring the most famous pop star in the world, you're going to have conversations like that. That's just not what I'm going to be discussing because the movie is bigger and better than that. And the people who made it are bigger and better than that. People have also noticed that Wilde has continued to push the sex sequences of this movie in her discussions, even though this doesn't make sense once you've seen the movie. As for Labeouf, after leaving Don't Worry Darling, his career suffered greatly after he was accused of sexual assault by his ex-girlfriend, singer FKA Twigs. His attorneys have refuted the charges. On the other hand, she's still suing Labeouf, and a trial is set to start in April. He did just appear as Padre Pio in the film directed by Abel Ferrara, and on Thursday, Labeouf gave Bishop Barron a video interview in which he talked about the movie and his license to sexual misconduct allegations. He also revealed that he had also considered suicide once his career started to fall apart. "I had a gun on the table. I was out of here," Shia shared with the Word on Fire Catholic Ministries Bishop Robert Barron. "I didn't want to be alive anymore when all this happened. Shame like I had never experienced before. The kind of shame that you forget how to breathe. You don't know where to go. You can't go outside and, get a taco." While we do wish Shia and Olivia well as they work through their current conflict, we're unsure as to whether or not we will ever learn the full truth regarding what transpired between Shia, Olivia, and Pugh. But that's it for today, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and we will be back very soon. Until then, take care!